So Riz, after I talk about
Richard, we are live ready. Richard. Yeah.
good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, a warm welcome to taking your weekend time to attend ISOTeam Limited corporate presentation briefing. My name is Richard Chan, General Manager of ISOTeam Limited, and with me today I have Mr. Albert Ting, Chief Strategy Officer of ISOTeam Limited. It's actually been a big reset in terms of back to the proper course of normal business, as ISOTeam ushers in the first set of positive financial numbers in the current financial year. We are positively optimistic that the firm will move on from strength to strength as material inflation tapers and high interest rate gradually eases in the economy in the coming months. Despite taking a big knock in the past few COVID years and making several divestments of non-performing business, ISOTeam has reverted to operational profitability, and we are making big strides to consolidate and improve existing businesses in Singapore. Having said that, we have currently achieved a record high half-year revenue figure, and please let us share about the development and insights on ISOTeam's road to recovery and its upcoming growth plans. In today's presentation, we'll cover the following topics: business overview and business highlights, which will be presented by myself, and followed by business outlook and plans, which will be presented by my colleague, Mr. Albert Ting. We will then end off with a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. For this session, we seek your understanding to please note that we will not be taking any questions relating to our forward-looking financial performance, as we are currently in the quiet period for financial year, which has ended 30th of June 2024. Non-financial questions are, however, welcome. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Since being listed in Singapore Catalyst Board for more than 11 years, ISOTeam Limited core businesses now still mainly covers building refurbishment, housing estate upgrading, painting and coating services, and landscaping services. We would like to reiterate that over the recent years, ISOTeam Limited has evolved from primary R&R and A&A contractor to an integrated building maintenance services as well as green solutions provider. To date, our current clientele not only includes all the 16 town council municipals in Singapore, as well as other government and agencies such as NGA and HDB, but also to building owners and resort owners, as well as main contractors as well. Not to mention our other customers such as utility companies and overseas partners. Next slide. ISOTeam has been stewarded and founded by three capable founders in 1996. Namely, our Group CEO, Mr. Anthony Koh, our Executive Chairman, Mr. David Ng, and our Executive Director, Mr. Danny Foo. Collectively, they have more than 75 years of building estate upgrading and maintenance experience between them. Most of its senior management team, executive officers, has also been with the firm for more than 15 years. This was instrumental to which ISOTeam was able to deliver and develop into one of the strongest building refurbishment companies in Singapore over the past 2 decades. Next slide. This is a snapshot of ISOTeam corporate milestones and project milestones over the past 2 decades. Some notable mentions is ISOTeam partnerships with Nippon Paint Singapore, which started in 2024, and is publicly listed in 2013. As well as expansion into the renewable energy sector back in 2016, including investment to one of its major customers, Sunseap Group, in 2017, and its eventual divestment to EDPR in 2022. It has also completed its largest A&E project at Marina Bay Sands in 2018, as well as completed construction of Singapore's first and largest offshore marine floating solar farm in 2021 in the Straits of Johor. The firm has always been at the forefront for digitization in the course of its business activities. By automating the drone technology, currently for both facade inspection and subsequently external wall painting are one of such examples. Next slide. It is ISOTeam Limited's vision to become Singapore #1 and preferred partner for total maintenance solution. Stemming from the multiple disciplines of the services of the group, the slide summarizes the underlying value as added solutions to the built environment community, which underpins the group's principal activities, ranging from life cycle maintenance solutions, property enhancement solutions, to subsequent asset enhancement services and renewable energy solutions. Moving forward, ISO team will continue to expand its revenue stream from its existing services segment and develop new complementary services from cross-sector marketing to deliver even greater potential growth. Next. The ISO team is graded B1 under the BCA General Building Workhead, which enable us to tender for construction projects of the size of 40 million Singapore dollars, and L6 under the Repair Redecoration Workhead, which enable us to undertake building refurbishment projects of any tendering limit. ISO team is also the exclusive applicator for Nippon Paint Company Singapore and SKK Paint Singapore in the public town council sector. To date, ISO team has completed more than 860 building refurbishment and upgrading projects for more than 7,200 buildings since 1998. In the past 12 months, we have observed a large amount of public tender being called for both our core business segments of R&R and A&A business divisions. Next slide. Next, we move on to business highlights. Here are some of the new casts for the group and highlights of some of the announcements for the past 6 months. In second half of 2024, the group has announced new contracts amounting to aggregate value of 45 million in second half 2024. Recently, 20 to 21.3 million in June 2024, as well as 24 million in April 2024. The group has announced a capital reduction exercise in May 2024 by reducing its paid-up capital to accurately reflect the group's underlying assets. It is also noteworthy to reiterate that back in October 2023, the group has revised its fixed dividend policy to 25% in financial year 2024 and 30% in financial year 2025. The firm has consistently issued yearly dividends in the excess of 20% of net profit back in its profitable years of 2015 to financial year 2019, before the outbreak of COVID. Next slide. Group revenue has been slightly below the $100 million mark in financial 2021 and financial 2022. We have a revenue of 110 million of financial 2023, mainly attributed by our R&R and A&A revenue segments. In half year 2024, we have earned a 62.7 million revenue, which is higher than the half of full year 2023 full year revenue, as our top 9 numbers gradually improve. The group's recovery of the gross profit margin is evidenced from financial year 2021 to financial year 2023, from a mere 0.5% to 13.3% for 6 months ended financial year 2024. The robust top-line performance has improved for the group's EBITDA over the last few financial years, excluding any non-operational adjustments, in which we registered a 4.3 million over the 6 months ended 2024, first half. Next slide. ISO team's order book has consistently been over the range of 180 million over the past 2 years, in which the firm has always been exceptionally robust in its order books during the years nearing the election cycles. Next, I'll hand over the time to my colleague, Mr. Albert Ting. We shall share with you the outlook and plans for ISO Team Limited. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Richard. My name is Albert. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer. Once again, a very good afternoon, everyone. Now, we'll just touch on 2 things, outlook and plans. And that's it. I will start with the reason why we are optimistic about the future. And then I'll go on to talk about our plans to take advantage of this environment to sustain our growth journey. Next, please. Yeah. Okay, as you know, we are in the business of built environment, so not construction sector per se, but it does contribute greatly to the built environment sector. Now, government has always been very consistent and very generous in setting aside huge budget for urban development and redevelopment and infrastructure for the past 20 to 30 years, as far as I know, when I was in M&D and HDB for more than 30 years. So it's not surprising that the demand for new build remains strong in the second half of this year and will remain steady into 2025 and through to 2028, as we expect it to be supported by public housing and infrastructure project. Now, as you can see from the slide, the public sector is taking the lead, contributing more than 55% of the $32 to $38 billion of public and infrastructure project. So what effect has a strong construction demand on built environment sector, you may ask? Well, it means that our built environment sector would have more building to refurbish, more restoration work, more redecoration work, more upgrading work, maintenance work, and so on. So hence our sector get bigger. So most of the government initiatives, as you can see on the right of the slides, are recurring in nature, typical in Singapore. All right, cyclical and recurring in nature. Now you can see town council and HDB projects, they have repair and redecoration or repainting cycle. In short, they call it RR. It's mandated at 5 to 7 years. Neighborhood renewal program, in short, NRP, is every 12 to 15 years. Now, NEA, on the other hand, has similar cyclical hawker center upgrading program. They call HUP, right? So is MPark. They have a upgrading program for park facilities, as well as a state upgrading program for private estate. Now, finally, I talk about BCA. BCA came in to say that they require all building owner to do inspection and restoration work to the building facade, perhaps for safety reason, once every 7 years for all high-rise building. Again, it's mandatory. So again, all this spell recurring business to ISO team. There will always be a constant stream of revenue from this sector year after year. Okay, next I talk about Green Plan. Next, please. Now, Green Plan 2030, sustainable demand, a national agenda and a growing sector for us as well. First, I will touch on the city in nature. Singapore started off as a garden city. URA introduced LUSH, landscaping for urban space and high-rises. 3.0, which is a strategy that URA used to evolve our garden city into city in the garden. So more than 50% of the park space and green area will be introduced by 2030 from the baseline of 2020. So it can be achieved by having more vertical greenery, extensive green roof, which is a common feature to all building, as you notice, commercial as well as residential, to fulfill that minimum green plot ratio for commercial as well as hospitality development. Again, ISO team has a capability to build the infrastructure for a successful urban landscape system in built environment. Next, I move on to talk about the green, they call it the energy reset. I call it the solar push. Now, Singapore is increasing its solar deployment to meet that 3% target by 2030. ISO team has already partnered Sunseed and others in solar project at HDB rooftop for all town council for 5 years running. And recently at MRT station, train and bus depot for LTA, as well as for JTC on solar land program. All this recently we have announced in our new contract award. Now, finally, I talk about resilient future, which is also a green plan in Singapore to reduce the heat effect of climate change. And we again partner with Nippon to use cool paint system, something that Nippon has developed together with HDB for several years now as a green building product. Now, HDB is in the process of incorporating this cool paint system into their public housing projects. With all this, what are our plans to take advantage of the ever-growing market to sustain our growth? Next slide, please. Okay, I think the main issue facing our industry are related to manpower. We rely heavily on foreign skilled labor, As you know, levy and accommodation costs for foreign labor have already gone up last year by a whopping 30 to 40%. But COVID-19 has taught us a few things. And one of them is that it accelerates our process of digitization by looking at mechanization and automation to optimize our resources and enhance our operation. Secondly, we went into collaboration and partnership with some of the best tech companies to develop solutions and explore how best to do things cheaper, better, faster using AI to drive operation. So that's our plan. Let me just give you a quick update on how the AI and technology can transform our workforce and improve our productivity. Now, as you can see, in 2021, through partnership, we introduced a facade inspection drone to inspect and detect building defects such as cracks and other vulnerability. And the data collected is then analyzed by AI-enabled software for follow-up repair to all buildings to comply with the BCA regulation, which I just alluded to you early on. In 2022, we have embarked on developing an autonomous drone to wash building facade. Now, all building facade need to be washed before it's painted. So we have developed that autonomous drone to wash the block, okay, through a partnership with Acrylic Technology as well as Nippon Paint. So this drone is able to undertake high-pressure jet washing on the building facade in preparation of the painting work. Now, this this autonomous washing drone will progressively develop into a painting drone using AI mapping. So this is what is in the progress right now. And to complement the external painting drone, we are also investing in indoor painting robot to carry out indoor painting with precision and efficiency this year. So this is something that we are doing currently. Okay, next I talk about a little bit on drone development progress. Next slide, please. Yes. Now, these are some of the photos which we took during our 3-year of development of AI painting drone. Right? Like I said, in 2022, we started our partnership with Acrylic. We have a drone that can wash the block. In 2023, we have a prototype that can be piloted to spray paint. That means you don't need a human pilot to do that. Yeah? Now, in 2024, we're going to have this drone that can be operated by AI to perform spray painting. This is what I'm talking about without a pilot to do it. All right, so we have some way to go, especially with authority requirements and approval, which I don't think is a problem because they are in support of the, like I say, green and environmental friendly, sustainable process. Yeah. Okay, so how are we going to do all these things? Okay, next, we have incorporated a ISOTeam Build Tech company, a subsidiary primarily involved in AI-driven autonomous solution for built environment sector. Now, it offers 2 main services. One is an AI-driven robotic solution and the IoT platform for effective smart building or project management. So all this AI deployment is part of ISOTeam's strategy. Number 1, to improve our productivity, to optimize our manpower resources, and that is how we're going to keep our costs low. That is how we're going to compete in the future. So I just quote the commemorative book by my CEO, the word of my CEO. He says that we must be future ready. We must always align and stay aligned with not just the industrial trend, but also the national trend, integrating AI and technology through digitization to drive growth. And that's the direction we are taking. Now, next, I want to focus on the core business. Okay. I would like to share with you our goals. This is going to be my last slide. So far, I've shared how we differentiate ourselves and capture the growth in the years ahead. We want to stay focused on our vision to be a leading player. The main goal is to achieve an annual revenue growth year on year and grow our profitability consistently. Now, thinking ahead, tomorrow, today has always been rooted firmly in our ethos. For coming year and even decades, we have set ourselves goals of continuous growth, focusing on bringing value to the shareholder. 1 year ago, this time, in fact, we have celebrated our silver anniversary in business and 10 years of our listing, in fact. We are thankful to our shareholders and investors for believing in us, in particularly our recent right issue, which enabled us to have the fund needed to go on with our business. So I just want to end by saying this. Throughout the course of ISO team history, one thing that has guided us is the passion for which we do, especially the 3 founding members, Anthony, Danny, and David, and the conviction from all of us that an even better ISO team can exist for many generations to come. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you, Richard, for your presentation. We now move on to the Q&A session. We have a few questions posted online already. Let me just quickly read the first question. Has IISO team's business made a full recovery from the pandemic? And what is the outlook for Singapore's built environment, and what are the key growth drivers for the next couple of years?
Okay. I will take this question. Has ISO team make a full recovery? The answer is yes. We are. In fact, we have recovered from pandemic. All the, I would say, low or no margin contract that was secured during the pre-COVID time are about 100% completed. So with our decade of experiences, we believe the outlook for the Singapore built environment sector will continue to be bright, continue to be vibrant. Now, as I already presented or alluded to the fact that the outlook is extremely good, we are going to do well by positioning ourselves to benefit from it, right? So since the beginning of last year, 2023, I think we have been talking about strategic realignment to the group business and refocusing on our core bread and butter. And since then, we have taken the corporate action to divest some of the non-performing, non-core businesses under our investment vehicle and consolidate and strengthen our core business, which is an A&A and R&R work. A&A stands for alteration and additional work, as well as repair and redecoration work to all buildings. So enhancing the property value through A&A and R&R has always been our key focus and is in line, in fact, with the government sector as well as with the private property owner as well. Yeah. So if you look at it, the strategy actually bore some fruits, as far as you can see, when Richard was presenting, that there is an improving top line and GP on the first half of our result. And going forward, I think we will have an eyes fixed on improving our market positioning as a leader in estate maintenance as well as upgrading, and in areas of renewable solution space, green sustainability focus. Okay, so that's in line with the government direction and vision. So we are on the right track. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Albert. I move on to the next question. This question is on a percentage in renewable energy projects. How much is the percentage of renewable energy projects? I presume this is in terms of order book and revenue.
Okay.
Let me take this question. The percentage of renewable energy projects for our past financial year is about 6%. And in terms of the current order book, it has reached up more than 12%. And we are looking to secure even more projects in the next coming months. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. I move on to another question. Hang on, let me just live that question. Okay, with reference to the recent drone crash at One North a few days ago, will this result in more compliance and oversight, thus affecting the margin of the business?
Okay, Sylvia, can you repeat the
I'll
question
take
again?
this question.
Oh, okay.
So with reference to the recent drone crash 2 days ago, it's unfortunate, but just to note, the current compliance framework and oversight by the authorities has always been there. So before any drone can be flown, you need to apply for operator permit and your activity permit on a project basis. Just to note, the drone that crashed is an untethered drone. The drone that ISO team has been using is its course of its business activities has always been a tethered drone, which means that the drone will not fly errantly all over the place, and this will definitely be a safeguard against the drone flying errantly all over the place and crashing if there's signal issues. I hope this answered the question.
Thank you, Richard. Okay, we have another question on solar panels again. How has the lower cost of solar panels in recent days helped ISO team in terms of its profitability?
Obviously, if you have a lower cost of solar panels, you can give a more competitive and more attractive proposal to your clients. By and large, most of ISO team clients are acquiring the solar panels themselves. We service most of the energy players, Sunseap, Keppel, and other big utility companies. Also, we also have projects that are building owners, which we supply the solar panels. We purchase the solar panels in the store on their behalf.
Thank you. I hope that answers your question. I move on to the next question. It's on how defensive your business is.
Okay, how defensive I would let
Please
me try.
explain why not? Yes.
Okay. Let me try to answer this question. Defensive, my understanding is defensive is a way in which even if market is good, you don't or the market is bad, your business are not quite affected, that's called defensive, right? So if you look at this way, we are doing HDB town council project most of the time. Of course, we have gone into MPark as well as with NEA, and maybe later on we are expanding into schools and in hospitals, areas like this. So if you talk about government sector project, yes, they are more or less very defensive in a way that, especially when HDB has this legislation that every 5 to 7 years, your block need to be painted, regardless whether the economic condition is good or bad, right? So in a way, your market size will continue to grow because new building come on stream, right? New building from construction sector keep coming in, and then BTO flats are growing in the region of about, 20,000 units a year, for new owner and new buyer. So that market's kind of keep growing while the older estate are getting older. So more work need to be done, such as repair, repair to the seepages and things like that. So we can see the pie get bigger, and the pie get more expensive to do because the material get older, building get older and things like that. So if you ask me, yes, very stable in good time as well as in bad times, right? So this is because of government registration and regulation, and policy put in place. Very unique in Singapore. That's why I was saying, because building, especially when it comes to houses, are the asset of the citizen, right? So if you ask me, I think yes, it's defensive. But on the other hand, our business are also not defensive because we are going to A&A and energy sector. Yeah, now when it comes to A&A, it's also our business strategy to go into hospitality sector. Like we do refurbishment to hotels, to restaurant, to Resort World Sentosa, to even MBS, where we need to do something nice to the building, inside the building, at a very fast pace, especially when they have a budget for it, right? So the margin is commendable because it's a fast track nature project. So competitors, in fact, in this area are numbered. Yeah. So this is something that, but when times are bad, I don't think people will want to spend a lot on that. So that is also kind of affects our revenue, right? So we have this, so you can see we have a combination of a defensive business nature as well as not so defensive. But it complements each other, One have steady stream of revenue with a steady margin, and one have a better margin, because of the fast track nature and the competition are very not many, right? Because these are very, very niche kind of work when it comes to refurbishment of commercial ID, for example. Yeah. And of course, we are the first mover in developing robotic and AI in seeking our built environment industry, right? We want to bring about game-changing process and workflow, to the way things are done in the past and even currently. Yeah. So with this, I think, it's exciting. Yeah. We are sure that we will be able to do well if we keep our focus on the core business, something that we do well and something that we want to expand on. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Albert. I'm sorry we have run out of time for more questions. We have a few pending, but unfortunately, there is no time to take them all. If you do have questions for ISO team, please feel free to contact the IR agency, which is August Consulting, Sylvia or Risni. Thank you, Albert. Thank you, Richard, for your time today. I now hand over to Share Investor to close up this session.
Thank you very much, Richard, Albert, and Sylvia, for the insightful session. Next, we have our exciting finale for today, the Analyst Take Turnaround Portfolio Discussion with Nicholas Yon from Lim & Tan Securities and Saifi Hussaini from Maybank Securities, moderated by Sivaniti from SIAS. Head over to the discussion now, as it will lead to our final lucky draw, where you stand a chance to win fabulous prizes including vouchers, cash prize, and a